Please, we just want to make a very short statement. All the members of the Southeast Caucus, they are here. We came here just to make a brief statement after the vote that was taken on the floor with regard to our motion to immortalize Professor Humphrey Nwosu. We had 3 prayers. The first prayer, which was for them, for the Senate to recommend to the executive that given the fact that Professor Humphrey Nwosu was the person who actually laid the foundation of the present INEC headquarters and commenced the building before that particular NEC was dissolved by the military in 1993. We felt that we should recommend that the executive names that INEC building after him. This is also in consonance with what Professor Jega, a former INEC chairman, said on Tuesday at the colloquium for Professor Humphrey Nwosu. Professor Jega said that he was surprised that up till this moment, Humphrey Nwosu has not been recognized or honored by the government of Nigeria, who today are benefiting from his plans and legacies in producing in 1993 the freest and fairest election. Don't forget that it was the outcome of the annulment of that election that led to the disturbances everywhere in Nigeria, that also led to the exit of the military in 1999, 6 years later. We had 2. We also had another that even if they don't do that they should also honor Professor Humphrey Nwosu by giving him a national honor. That's, of course, a posthumous honor. That was also rejected on the floor. Of course, the third one, which was for him to be honored by the Senate by giving him a 1-minute silence, was done. But we are not deterred. The reason is simple. It may be delayed, but it will not be denied. Professor Humphrey Nwosu was the person who laid the foundations that we are all enjoying today. And so, as far as we are concerned, we think that even if this government does not honor Professor Humphrey Nwosu, a government in future will honor him. After all, some other governments refused to recognize Abiola, but later a government recognized Abiola. Some other government didn't recognize June 12, but later a government recognized June 12 as our democracy day. So
hello, good evening, SC viewers. If you are new to this channel, kindly like, share, subscribe, and please do not forget to hit the notification bell. Mr. Chinedu Michael, let's quickly look at the position of Senate yesterday, where they refused to honor Humphrey Nwosu, of course, the INEC chairman that superintended over the 1993 presidential election that saw Abiola winning, though IBB did not allow the man to enjoy that victory. But in what looked like another cheat against the Igbos, the senators refused to honor him. Rather, they say they will only observe a minute silence for him. Are you satisfied with that?
No, nobody should be satisfied with that. If you look at the erudite Professor Humphrey Nwosu, was a man who stood under. Any Yoruba man cannot do it like that. He stood under gunpoint, do military error. Okay, without him making that pronouncement, how come they suddenly recognized Abiola as the presumed winner of 1993 election without Humphrey Nwosu. So what they're saying is that Humphrey Nwosu's contribution does not matter or is simply insignificant or is being played down over national honor because he is an able man. But what I want to understand, then how come that Abiola was recognized or should be recognized? Because I don't recognize Abiola as the president. You know what you are seeing that Buhari and all of them are doing now, just wasting that time. I don't believe in anything that, like Democracy Day. That is why I am telling you that what you saw play out in the Senate, where Akpabio is enjoying, where Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Buhari, and all of them are enjoying the sacrifice made by this very particular erudite professor, Nwosu, has been played down because he's an Igbo man. Then the question I want to ask Oshomole and Yayi or Abio is, how come did they know that Abiola won that election? How come? Oh, now Ababio and Yayi and Tinubu and the rest of them, now them behind neck. But unfortunately, I listened to Oshomole saying that there was no place, that if there's any place that Professor Humphrey was granted interview and said that Abiola won that election, then he will push for that. And in less than 1 minute, everywhere. I like the courage of Engineer Baribe. And I like the threat that is coming from these people. It's a very clear thing. And I like that walking out you saw, they have walked out of Nigeria completely. They have walked into promised land, Canaan land, land of the rising sun, land blessed with grace, land blessed with humanity, land blessed with success, land blessed with grace. They've walked out. I told you that Nigeria has played the darkest game in the history of the world against the Igbos and against themselves for the past 64 years of independence. Go and check the record.
So you are satisfied with
So do you know what it means for a nation to be playing politics in the dark? That is clearly what we are seeing, within that context, that anything that has to do with the reality of the little, okay, bros, what of the Igbo queue? So the Yorubas are denying, the Hausas are denying that Humphrey Nwosu did not contribute anything. That is the story. You can see how they're doing now. The same propaganda, they said it was an Igbo queue. How many years after they said no be Igbo queue? They are trying to deny Humphrey Nwosu's. Then what is the assessment? What is the yardstick they are using to measure that Abiola won that election without Humphrey Nwosu? That's the logic they need to ask them.
So it means they have been able to provide clips.
Of course, several clips are out there. Also, several clips are there. You know, I like the position of Abaribe at the Senate floor, and he told him that you are becoming a tyrant. I don't know what the kind of drink Abu Tinubu gave to Abio. I don't know. Look at what is happening between the Senate President and Natasha. 500 million gone just for say hello, or for the jewelries and private wares, private part wear. All of them we are scattered.
Let us not go into
no. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to point at the worst, the controversy surrounding the worst Senate president in history.
I wanted to bring to your attention that even Senator Nnamdi have said that even if the man Humphrey Nwosu is not honored now, that another government will come.
No, even if they are not normal government, the government of the rising sun will come. The government, the first Jewish black nation in the world. But we have a way to immortalize. Biafra will have a way to immortalize those who has contributed to the success of black race in Africa, but not to Nigeria. I can tell you that. Biafra will do that. Those who work under this darkness will be will be rewarded in the light.
Does it mean the Senate was not properly guided? Because perhaps if they before the conversation, maybe they would have honored him.
You see, when I look at Obasanjo's administration, I saw the spread of federalism, the spread of federal character. You know, the spread of different input from different nationalities, different brain, different background. But this man Yorubalized the Asurok. You can see what the son said. That you see, that even God come down from heaven. Tinubu will overthrow God and win the election. It's in the news there. Go and check it.
You mean the son says so?
Sheyi Tinubu? What are you telling me? They say that even God cannot stop him. But you know what I'm saying? You see, they have got to the level that they have become. I don't want to use the word beast because whatever happened, when they said Titanic was one of the, I think the first, would I say yachts, or the biggest, most expensive ship in the world. And after building it, they came out and said, even God cannot be able to destroy Titanic. But now, snow, what is it called now? Block, ice. It should be ready. And I pray that he is not being quoted out of context.
I want to believe that he's not quoted out of context because nobody has ever challenged God.
Bro, you see, there's the level these people get to. They become stupid about their position. But look at what is happening in the Senate. And look at the whole Senate president. An institution. For that matter, look at the mess up. Even if you are not being told, everybody, whatever you are in a democracy you are enjoying today, the Igbos contributed. You cannot say that the Humphrey Nwosu's contribution is insignificant. After all, what did he do? Then that means Abiola never contested the election and Abiola never won that election. And Abiola should not be recognized in any form. That's what the message they are trying to. You can see how they manipulate anything that has to do with Igbo. And I thank God that they are getting the consciousness now. Look at Bola Ahmed Tinubu ordering the arrest of Ojo Carlo and of course the commencement of his trial with the FCC. You can see that serve the zoo and come back crying. Nnamdi Kanu has said this several times. And but I think all these things are working towards the liberation, or the dismantling, because the day it will come to those men consciousness that this is absolutely rubbish, they cannot this cannot stand, then they will know that God has already prepared a place for them. God has opened another a channel that they can be proud of, where he said, by the riverside Babylon, where we sat down, there we wept when we remember Zion. They are weeping in Nigeria because they are remembering how is it going to go. They wonder. But in 1948, God became God. And immediately, the state of Israel became a physical thing. That is just it. The resources that has kept this Nigeria for wonder, where is it coming from? But you can see how poor the people of the eastern part of the country are, if not for selfless, a struggle of survival. Imagine what would have become the entire. I'm not talking about the people they are using, against the Igbos. How come that suddenly only the eastern part of the country you have thousands of fragmentations of national this thing? These are the evil. But God will judge the British government one day. God will judge.
You drag British government to
yes, I'm telling you, God will call them to answer for the death of over 6-7 million Biafrans that was murdered as a result of British conspiracy with the Fulanis and the Northerners and the Arab Yorubas. We know this. Nobody will come and tell you that this is make you bend. Some of the things we are saying here, they know about it. They know. I only say that they pretend. But thank God for that dirty slap, coming from IBB and that revelation about the coup.
Do you call it a slap?
Of 1966. Yes, now. I call it a dirty slap. You understand? See, there's a kind of slap that will come in different form. Then will begin to it will reshape, it will give you a proper,
Reorientation.
you begin to have a rethink. When you say, I not be thief, I not be thief, bah, okay, yes, okay. You begin to do like this, then you know that that one has entered. That was a big blow coming from IBB, and that is the situation on ground.
Now, conclusively, in the light of this, we have seen an Ina Abaribe who stood his ground. Are you convinced that Ina Abaribe is a true Biafran? Because before now, they will see someone like Ina Abaribe, of course, any person in the political class, as of not being with Nigeria and not part of Biafra struggle.
I look at the class of intellectuals having coming from the old Eastern extraction. I look at different people. I studied them. I look at their profiles. Even though who is more of the East, in quote, who is more of the Biafra, both in South and South, who is more of a Biafran? When I look at the state of all these things, and the caliber of people, professionals, this region has produced, I will tell you the honest truth. I give it to Chinua Achebe.
No, I was trying to.
I am coming to that. I am coming to that. I give it to Chinua Achebe. Then the second person is, of course, I give it to Odumegwu Ojukwu. The third person, I give it to Nnamdi Kanu. Every other thing will be considered or based on secular understanding, and that is the secular understanding I want to give you, is that Engineer Abaribe is not in Nigeria because he does not work in the dark. Those who work in the dark are Nigerians.
Okay, you are satisfied with the role he played.
What the role is bringing Nigeria out of darkness to the light. It's a role. He's trying to bring Nigeria. Navigate Nigeria. Of course, yes. No, apart from that, he has always tried as much as possible, to bring the entire northern part of the country, the entire southern part of the country, from darkness to the light. But they choose to remain in the light. Okay, how come the Igbos have not been able to enjoy the presidency, but still they produce sixth, fourth ranking according to the world record breaking? Fourth most richest tribe in the world, sixth most traveled all over the world. And check it, the history is there. Is it by presidency? Is it by becoming Nigerian president? We're talking about over.
But how did I achieve that feat as the fourth most richest in the world?
Bros, let me tell you, when you go to Guinness Book of Records, you cannot see any. Bro, leave Dangote and $10 and what they call them.
Maybe should be a model for emulation and maybe studying.
They're already studying it in UK.
No, that's what I'm asking.
Yes, you can say what they call Igbo apprenticeship. It's a course in UK. Because it has produced more billionaires than white collar job in Africa. How come that this type of skill was able to create more billionaires? I think people should study it, and that's what they are doing in some schools in UK. And I'm telling you now that Igbos is the fourth richest tribe in the world, sixth most traveled. No, find that.
If I may ask you, perhaps let me ask you, what motivated them to go into this adventure of traveling?
Necessity is the mother of invention. Attack. Survival. How would protection of their race, their tribe, conquest, adventure, invention, innovation, commercialization, trade. Everything is factored into. You see, that was what they're telling you, that how come they get to this feat even after coming under massive bombardment for more than 5 years, lost over 7 to 10 million people. The Igbo people have the record. But go to Mayu. Yes, I'm sorry that I have to give you an instance. Dogu, a player in Mayu, yesterday denounced his British name and claimed his Igbo name. And you can never in the history of the world know that this Man United player is an Igbo man. You can never. So when they tell you that the sixth most traveled around the world, they know what they are saying.
Perhaps I should ask you this question. Seeing that the Igbos, the Biafrans, are a major wealth creator in the world, are you satisfied with the level of repatriation of their wealth to the Biafra land?
No, no, the Akurulo, you know, that's the way they put Ekuzi made something. Akurulo campaign, recognition, you know. But what I'm telling you that, you know, the coming together of the black Jews all over the world, you know what it means? I remember the richest musician a female musician in America, talking about Rihanna, has already signaled that the mother named her Chioma. The richest currently now. I'm not talking about Cardi B. I'm not, so many of them.
But are you satisfied with the level of their repatriation of their
Bro, the campaign, that's why we are here. We are doing the campaign. And you know, they should remember Biafra land. They should try to see how they can. Because see, what does it take an Igbo, people that came from war, what does it take them to invest in or to build Lagos? And when the report came under Fashola, the Igbos have about 53, they are 53 in population, 53% in population, 47%, if I can be right, owners of properties in Lagos, Igbos alone. I'm not talking about the entire eastern region. Igbos alone in Lagos. So what are we talking about? If what you are saying is not true, please can you go and ask Tunde Bakare, who was also part of the meeting, and why he reacted. But they are not in power. They are not in government. The only problem is that they fought against their lives. They defended their lives, and Nigeria time it as enemy because the plan was to make sure that a day will come that the Biafrans are going to stand like the way the present day Israel is standing, and nobody will stop it.
I think I'm gonna let you go at this point. We hope to have you next time on this.
Thank you.
But for now, let me say a big thank you for your time. Thank you very much.